Today we decided to head into Wexford and have a walk up the main street, which is ironically called Main Street, but is split into South Main Street and North Main Street. We started at South Main Street and are heading north. Karen's family mentioned that a lot of shops have closed over the years, so we thought we'd have a look for ourselves and see what has changed in the 30 years since we've been visiting here. I'd forgotten how many bars there are in and around Wexford Town Centre. There are probably 15 to 20 around the place, and I reckon over the years we have visited most, if not all of them. If you look to the left, you'll see the Blue Shop, which is the premier takeaway, mainly burgers and fish and chips. It has been here since 1979. We've had many feeds from here over the years and actually grabbed another one the other night. Just ahead on the right is Bugler Doyle's bar. We've had a few drinks in there over the years as well. You'll notice I've split the video up a bit, removing some of the boring sections and the bits where I messed up the filming. Apparently there's an Australian Chemist Warehouse somewhere here in Wexford, but we still haven't made it there yet. Up here on the left is the Holy Grail Indian restaurant. We got takeaway from here on this trip and it was really nice. The green building on the left next to the Gold Rush is the Lotus Asian restaurant. Again, we've had takeaway from here on this trip. If it sounds like we've been eating a lot of takeaway, you would be correct. The streets around Wexford are very narrow. Main Street is probably 800 to 900 years old and follows the original Viking village layout. Parts of Main Street are now closed off to traffic. Just on the right, the dark green fronted building is Simon's Place Bar. They have Yellow Belly craft beer on tap. I've tried both the lager and the IPA and they were very good. On the right here is Penny's. It's probably similar to Cotton On or the clothing section of Kmart back in Australia. Coming up on the right is an old lane dating back to Viking times around 700 to 900 years ago. It's called Keys's Lane, sometime written as Keyset's Lane, and is believed to be named after a merchant from centuries ago. I tried to point the camera down there, but there were too many people coming through and it was dark, so the footage didn't really come out. We're staying at Castle Bridge, about 9 or 10 kilometres away. There was a bridge between Castle Bridge and Wexford over the River Slaney. It gets very busy and traffic can sometimes back up for a kilometre or more waiting to get over the bridge. And a bit of trivia to fill in time while we're walking the street. If you remember the singer Chris de Burgh, he lived in County Wexford at Ballywilliam near Kilmuckridge in North Wexford. Coming up ahead is probably the most photographed bar in Wexford, the Bar and Undertakers, now called Mackin's the Cape Bar. Apparently it has been a pub operating on this site since the 1840s, and the current Mackin family have owned it since 1949. To the right is the Bull Ring, dating back to the 1600s. It originally served as a livestock trading area and a public gathering point, and is still a very popular spot today. The memorial at the front is the 1798 pikeman statue, commemorating the 1798 rebellion, where Wexford was one of the major centres of the uprising against British rule. Bit of history and trivia. In the town of Enniscorthy, which is about 20 kilometres north of Castle Bridge, is Vinegar Hill, which commemorates the Battle of Vinegar Hill, which was one of the defining battles and symbols of the 1798 rebellion. From what I've read, many of the buildings along Main Street date from the 1800s and are still occupied today. Coming up on the right is the Copper Chimney multi-cuisine restaurant. It serves a mix of North Indian, South Indian, Thai, Chinese and Asian fusion food. We haven't visited it this trip, and I think the last time we ate in there was about 20 years ago. For the last 2 years, Wexford has hosted a major Irish traditional music festival. I will call it the FLA, as every time I try to pronounce the full name I get laughed at. The 2025 FLA reportedly attracted around 700,000 visitors to Wexford in a week's period. The lane we have just turned into is mostly bars. They put up the retractable roof before the first FLA. Locals refer to it as Wexford's Temple Bar, after the famous entertainment and pub district in Dublin. And this marks the end of our walk on Wexford's Main Street. We're now heading down to Redmond Place. If you look slightly to the right, you'll see the Wexford Bridge that crosses the Slaney River.